expected more from Method. I came in today and I was like, okay, guys, you struggled. Okay, let's put this in perspective. I didn't expect them to go in and body Liquid.
Sure.
That wasn't really the expectation. I didn't know who was going to win. I expected this to be a close fight. And currently, that's really not happening. And I don't see the real improvement on Method's part. Whenever it feels like, okay, now they have found a rhythm and they're coming back into this, the next fight, even though they run into it with an advantage, everything falls apart. There's all of a sudden chaos and everything just like falls completely out of whack. And again, as you said, we know about their potential, and I want them maybe not hit that completely right now.
Yeah.
But I want to see at least an upward trend, and I'm not getting that at all. And that what personally disappoints me really, because I had higher expectations coming in, where I wasn't sure can they win against Liquid, but I thought that it would be more competitive. And right now, it always feels that no matter what happens in the mid game, whenever there's a decisive fight, no matter the advantage on the side of Method, Liquid just goes in and says like, all right, we take this now. Which is great for Liquid.
Yeah.
But make it work for it.
Method just missing something in the rhythm, hitting an 8th note when they need a quarter note. Something, it's small, but it's enough for Team Liquid to able to respawn, or any team actually in HGC in the last couple of weeks, and punish them for it.
I'm going to say one thing.
Say
the
it.
last game was better than the first one.
Sure.
Game 2 was without a doubt better than the first game. First game, they were very much hinging on big heroics. The rotations on the map were a little bit more wonky, where Diablo gets picked off several times. They get caught because they're not taking a safe path. They don't really have vision. And so game 2 was better, no doubt about that. But yeah, they're getting shut down there. And let's see if they can maybe turn this around. But this is going to be, like, a reverse sweep from that position is going to be incredibly difficult,
Sure.
nearly impossible. And they have to change things. Maybe they come in from a perspective now from whatever, you know, and just like run it with no pressure. That could help them. That helped a lot of other teams in the past. Maybe if they now take it from that perspective and that approach, it can be a different series. But at this point, if I would have to take a guess, I'm going to say this is a 3-0 for Liquid, because they are just convincing and Method isn't.
Team Liquid is definitely on this Toronto train too. First pick and second pick coming in for Team Liquid immediately. Getting the global pressure for this battleground that you expect from a lot of teams to pick up, and then Toronto, one of the best healers that we have in the HGC right now due to her recent rework. But Method has opened up already with a strong foundation. Hanzo and that boss control and the immediate engage possibilities for them is great. All they need now is a tank that can follow up those engages, and of course, or even actually MIF here who can follow those engages, and there she is with a Decker Kane to back her up.
So, slight change in priorities. I kind of like that. You aren't going Tolo, you have Hanzo, so you're going for big camp clear immediately.
Yeah.
You have also the engage potential with Hanzo. That got Kane taken away from Team Liquid. Now, granted, they picked Tyrande already, but let's not forget that on the first map they decided with Tyrande to go into a double support. They played Tyrande a bit more aggressively on Arcana, and then it was Deckard Kane still being played. But they still have their MIF, so the draft approach is a good one. I like that. Definitely focusing a lot on his close quarter fights again, through the seal, through Mayev's tether, creating those opportunities. Still need a strong tank, a bit more burst damage if possible. Setup is okay. But setup wasn't my issue in any of the games. Like, all of the games had a clear line and a clear idea behind them. It was just the execution that didn't work out.
Well, with Rainer being banned out, Team Liquid have to change up their MO for damage. They're going to pick up Garrosh. Will we get something like a Phoenix? No, we're going to get a Li Ning popping out for Team Liquid. Gives them poke around the tributes, and also reset potential with Garrosh and Tyrande setups, and of course Tahaka, who's been bringing in those drags. Maybe a little bit more damage for this 5th pick coming in. Actually, they're going to have to pick up something to make sure they set that up, but still, Team Liquid, good on this map.
All right. Mirrodin, I would assume.
Yeah. Bow. Ooh. Okay, that's different.
All right.
Malthael and a Nubarak. Malthael help against Garrosh, obviously. A Nubarak into a Li Ming means that you're trying to find the right opportunity to land that web.
Wait, what?
Getting that web on a Li Ming because she has Disintegrate. It's a little bit hard to pick out a Nubarak straight into a Li Ming, but you can get it.
Yeah, okay. Then, because I was just about to say, I mean, usually we see it the other way around, where Li Ming is actually picked against the Nubarak. Huh.
I think they can pull it off.
Not sure what to think about that.
It may have been a case that they felt like they were so down far this draft that they wanted to run it anyways. and they feel like they can get into the back line. It's just a little bit worrisome to have a Nubrak diving into a Garrosh and a Dahaka.
Talking about heroes that we've seen today that I could have seen in that position if you're already going away from standard. Tyrael over Nubrak. I would have liked that more, to be honest with you. You miss out on the stun, but you have the Sanctification. It's great for the boss plays. You can play it around the Tribute as well.
Yeah.
You have at the same time still someone that can jump in. You capitalize on the Maiev. With the ring, so I would have liked that a little bit more for Stain. I'm always worried when I see a Nubarak without additional protection.
I just think Tyrael has too many disruptions to have to deal with and has too low of a health pool. I mean, suddenly you have Whip of Force coming in there, you have Garrosh with Taunt, stops Identification. At least the Nubrak has the Yep of Magic, right? At least he can kind of hold that front line a little bit better.
The Tyrael is a shield. Again, like I'm just like whiffing here a little bit.
Yeah,
if you go away from
if
the stronger tanks that we have. And then I would have liked Tyrael a little bit more than a Nubarak. I think the only downside that Tyrael has in that case is that he doesn't have the stun. So if you're really banking on the stun follow-up, a Nubarak is the better choice. But I'm not quite sure how much you're going to get out of Kun, for example. Left side, 80 RD on Maiev, Bad Benny on a Nubarak, Nick on Hanzo. We are seeing the leftovers. Method with Curson on Deckard Cain and Ethereal Angel on Malthael.
To the right, Team Liquid, one game away from securing their slot at BlizzCon. Eternal on Dahaka, Hasselhoff's on Phoenix, Nurok on Tyrande, Arcaner on Li Ming, and Sport Billy to play Garrosh.
Liquid feels great right now. 2-0 lead. They need to win the series today to qualify for BlizzCon directly, and so far everything points towards that particular result. 3 potentially additional maps, and they only need to win one of them. If they can make that happen, then Liquid is confirmed to be the second spot in the standings. Fnatic would take number 3, and would therefore have to only play 1 match. Leftovers on 4, Method on 5, and 6 for Granite Gaming.
Earning the slot to BlizzCon has been a big goal for Team Liquid since the very beginning. They came out and mentioned that they wanted to make sure that they went to every offline event, and they've been able to perform much better than we saw last year, when they missed out on a few of the Western clashes. So Team Liquid can kind of already look at this year, especially if they're able to land the BlizzCon slot, as a successful one for them. Had a couple of moments where they've been undefeated, were looking some of the strongest in HGC Europe. Granted, Dignitas has had that title for the entire time, but still, Team Liquid showed a lot of growth this year.
Yeah, Liquid had huge problems at the Western Clash, and they talked very openly about those issues, and that they made several changes afterwards with the way that they are coordinating games, that they are also drafting. A lot of the responsibilities have since then been taken over by Arcaner. With good and bad results, some of the games you could really see a lot more research going into the preparation, and or a lot more preparation going into the research, and vice versa, to make sure that they are getting certain drafts, that they are eliminating certain maps and heroes from their opponent, but definitely struggling in other cases. Their match against Dignitas was a very good indicator of that, where they allowed on some of the strongest maps of Dignitas, where most of the data existed, they allowed them to get all of their power picks. So that's definitely things where they can still improve and prepare for an offline event. But yeah, Liquid definitely doing a lot better this year than they did last year, and this is what was the goal. I mean, Hazov's talked about that when I did the interview with him, and so far, they're on track.
They're looking to be a little bit deadly here in the bottom lane, too. Even helping in this double giant push head forward, trying to break it open these walls and make sure they can put some damage out. If anything happens, they're not going to land a Lunar Flare there with that extra range. They're just trying to hope open this up here so they can have a little bit more aggression on this tribute in the bottom. As Malthael is already starting the traditional push in the top lane with Dahaka. You should be able to clue that up with Drags.
Yeah, 2 towers already down. I mean, Liquid so far doing pretty well here. The tribute spawning bottom side, so that's definitely a bit of a relief for Method, because with them having the camp still active at the top lane, there's now a reason for Dahaka to stay and not make the move back down. Malthael is not transitioning down just yet. I think Dahaka also just dragged. Nah, the camp is still there. Malthael is doing a good job defending that.
Clearing up these 2 turrets. Oh no, Curson. He should be done here. Babby's going to try and save him, but there it is. Sport Billy with the scoop and the deliver.
I mean, well done by Sport Billy. We had Kirsten hiding on the left side here. Sport Billy walks around, sees him, locks him down, throws him over, and that's an immediate end of any idea of potentially fighting there. I mean, again, this comes back down to what we said earlier. It always feels like there's every single time that one moment where any kind of cohesiveness, any kind of game plan that Method has gets just shut down.
It seems like they have to pull detours because their initial plan doesn't work out, and the detours just constantly put them in this downward spiral of trying to make things work, and it just never pays off. It's such a weird description for Method as we know them.
Yeah. Normally, Method was always the team that keeps the opponent guessing, that makes plays and makes them react, and now we're having always the opposite happening here. I mean, that was the easiest tribute in Liquid's life. It doesn't get any easier than that. You walk around, you find a Deckard Cain, there's no one else, you just throw him over, boom, kill, and then your opponent's just like, well, that's tribute number 1.
And you gave time for a Thermal to build up on Essence. He should be fine now, which means he should be able to rotate now.
You also made that camp at the top lane basically useless.
Yeah.
So there was no advantageous trade-off for them. So now Method is, of course, going to try and find something through team fights. And they are already looking for exactly that, seeing if they can brawl in the middle here a bit. Also pushing out that camp. Good combo from Arcana against Person here. Solo lane is still doing their thing, but it's all about the mid play right now.
Nobody even look at the tribute right now. Team Liquid getting the edge-wise in terms of clearing that up, and there it goes. They will have the push with the Bruiser camp. And with Li Ming on the south and Garrosh rotating over to the bush, there should be some slowdowns happening for Team Lead. They even think about moving in and attempting to grab this tribute.
They get also a really good position for this.
Wait.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Wow, how did that happen? Malthael goes down against Dehaka. I mean, Eternal is going beast mode lately on Dehaka anyways. We've been pointing that out now several times, especially last weekend. He got a solo kill against Urel with Last Hope, but now he also gets another solo kill against Ethereal and Malthael. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. Calm down, Eternal.
And here's the issue, too. Team Liquid's been pushing that bottom lane. Remember those 2 turrets that got picked up? There's been 2 waves that have been fed straight into that fort. And you're starting to see the experience game for Team Liquid because of it. They're about to hit level 9, which means going to the 3rd tribute, they can grab this tribute if they're able to take it, hit level 10. And we have suddenly a push that we've had extinguished the last couple weeks because teams have been slowing down the tributes, but you can get a curse pushing and push straight in towards a keep if you have that level 10.
I honestly don't want to be mean, but right now when I look at Method, one of the last words I would associate with what I'm seeing here is the word competitive.
It's a little mean.
The last 5 to 6 weeks from Method have been a disaster. And it's rough. It's really rough. And I really have trouble understanding where this disconnect comes from. A lot of people and they themselves have talked about how the 3rd ban impacts them more than other teams, especially in the current meta. And I really think this is a really good argument to be made. But I don't think that it explains for all of the difference that we see now from Part 1 to Part 2 in Phase 2. Part 1, they were dominant. They were looking so strong. It was so awesome to watch them because it was just like, man, look at this team that has been playing together as a 5-man in the past, and now they're falling apart here. I like that attempt to go for the boss, though. They use the strength of the draft with them using, I mean, Hanzo in particular, and they sneak that boss in. So this is a cool play. If you know you're already behind, if you know that you're in trouble, that boss is a really cool move to make. Your opponent curses you, but you already know a lot of the pressure at that bot lane is relieved through the boss being taken.
And top lane too, they got Giants as well.
Yeah, so Method is actually making some cool decisions right now.
Stopping this tribute grab by Team Liquid, even setting up for a gank here on the bottom. Bad Bunny goes over the wall, was hoping to maybe move in and attempt to get off the web. Actually lands the barbs here. Arcana is caught off.
Yeah, Arcana gets just taken down here. But we have still a 4 versus 3 now. 4 versus 4 as Tyrande comes in. Maiev is on the way, but it's an even fight at this point. And keep in mind, blue team is cursed, not the red one. Benny goes down, more shots being fired. Beetle eats 1, but Kirsten gets hit by the next, and that's a 2-for-1 trade.
20 more seconds left on top of the curse. Will Team Liquid be able to get a 4th, though? Method being able to find a kill on the bottom and pull all of Team Liquid down to that area. If they're able to get to this top lane, clear that out, and they only lose a little bit of damage on the fort on the bottom, I would say that's totally worth.
It's annoying from Liquid's perspective because they basically don't get any experience lead. That's the problem for them. So one of the big issues when you actually curse, or we're seeing the boss being taken, that's an advantage Liquid gets. But let's talk about one of the big problems when you take a curse and you are not on the lane. Your opponent's minion waves are down to 1 hit point per minion. The problem is they still give full experience. So if you're not on the lane as the 2 minion waves collide, your opponent's minion waves gets taken out and you lose the entire experience of that minion wave because you're not there. your opponent's minion waves build up and take structures. That's usually where most of the experience lead through a curse comes from. But if you are not in a position where you can capitalize on the minions being so low health, you might actually have a problem. If you look at the experience right now, there's a massive, massive gap. Nice dodge, by the way, by Arcana on that arrow. But yeah, that's the problem that Liquid has now. With them just 4 or 5 manning the bot lane to defend here, Method could still rotate Maiev onto the lanes to get the experience, but Liquid lost it. So that's why Liquid is only marginally ahead after a full curse.
Meanwhile, while that boss to get grabbed and gets cleared by Method, again, another solid defense when it comes to the objective. Team Liquid had Dehaka in the bottom lane pushing in. Although that fort did take some pressure earlier, you should be able to finally commit and grab that fort, which would give them that experience that you were just talking about that we were missing on that first tribute. But all in all, said and done, despite Method in their early game, not really paying off. I like how they've handled this mid game. Ooh, but can they handle Dehaka as the Thurnal comes in for a flank?
Yeah, and okay, isolation onto Nubarak. Stay a while and listen. Immediate interrupt by Curson, but still the taunt should finish off Benny. Ooh, he actually gets out of this. Here comes the salvo though. Dehaka down. Benny survives, but Malthael is biting the dust. Oh, nice move by Arcana. Great play here. Going over, hitting the disintegrate, and just barely touching the beetle.
So a total of a 2-for-1 trade in favor of Team Liquid, actually, with both Garrosh falling, or Garrosh getting the pick, as well as a Nubarak also falling too. So 13 connects, and that's going to be a total of 2 forts, and Team Liquid finally start to open up the map, and with a tribute spawning soon here on the top right, they can set up for the night camp on the side. They can also set up for that tribute, as they have members already floating around, and Dehaka about to head to the bottom lane.
Liquid is still running the show here. They might not have gotten the value out of the first curse that they were hoping for, but they are still decisively dominating the game here. 6 kills against 2, level lead still. And they're just dominating all of the fights. Inevitable end on 13 now should help Malthael though. He really struggled. Like, he really had some problems in the past few engages. But yeah, let's see if they can fight for another tribute here. I mean, so far they take the camp at the bottom map, so we're going to have that bruiser camp. But right now, Hazo opts with a very easy first tribute. So 4 tributes in a row now taken by TL.
Mets is starting to feel pretty strong here, though, with Containment Disc, as well as
also
coming in.
Let's not forget that we're Quickening Blessing now for Tyrande, so Garrus is going to be very, very happy about that. Makes it even easier for him to close the distance to any target and throw it in.
Love movement speed whenever you're Garrosh. Getting the speed up from a Tyrande, a Ragnaros, dropping down the speed, allows you to get in those engages, force those fights as you want. ADRD and crew grouping up here in the top lane, though, and Malthael coming in too. And remember, Containment Disc in Web will allow for Method to make sure they have that number advantage. Team Liquid has to respect this. They allow for the fort to fall. Experience gain here for Method as Team Liquid builds for 16 and Dehaka stays in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Method is currently just in a spot where they are saying, alright guys, let's 5-man this. They're 5-manning a lot of these situations. Malthael is still hiding here in the middle, so he's going to try and find some experience there. But now more rotations are happening, and to be fair, Method could actually try and maybe get the fort in the mid lane here too. 16, as he said, is the issue, and Liquid is half level away from that talent. So it's all about that next tribute here. Is Method even going to make that play? Because they can, once again, just try to approach the middle with 4 or 5 heroes and try to put damage onto the fort itself, let the tribute go, just play around that. They're hiding a few heroes in vision here, Nubarak being one of them, anchoring the side. Garrosh is visible down, and so they're going to try and get the structure. Yeah,
they're trying to see if someone gets a tribute. And if the rest of the team Liquid comes to defend, they can force a fight. And actually, Bad Benny goes in on the back right.
Arrow.
Ooh, arrow does not connect, though. Nurok pulled into the middle by ADRD, but Eternal is here to protect him.
Yeah, they're moving back, but Billy is there. The drag, and that was just a beetle. Oh my god. The beetle goes down within like a second. I mean, Nubarak didn't realize it. He got thrown in and immediately disappeared. It's like he burrowed away or something.
The moment you throw out Impale, you throw out a Burrow Charge, a Nubarak is in desperate mode to get away. And Team Liquid with that pick on said Beetle goes straight over towards the boss.
But, you know, plays like this is exactly why I questioned the Nubarak earlier and was throwing Tyrael in as a mix. If you don't want to go for a Murden or something. If you have a situation like this, you can still force Sanctification out and play around that. It's just, a Nubarak currently outside of the initially engaged doesn't really do anything for them.
I don't think we've seen a Nubarak win in a couple of weeks now, if I remember correctly. Been having a really hard time. I don't think a Nubarak's won in the last couple of weeks against one of the main meta tanks. He's had a really hard time.
I mean, it is the problem again. If you have a Urel or a Blaze next to you, then it's a bit easier. But him alone, especially with into a Garrosh, you always are afraid that if you miss your stun or if you're on cooldown in any scenario, that Garrosh is going to punish you. It's going to throw you in, and then nothing's going to save you. That's a massive problem here.
Double boss play, but Method has Hanzo, so they equip the boss on the bottom. Should be able to deal with the one on the top. The main problem is there's a tribute available for Team Liquid. And if they defend the boss, they will be losing one member to help defend said tribute, and that'll be a curse for Team Liquid. Liquid
is just playing this extremely smart. I don't think that Liquid feels in the least threatened. Liquid is approaching this from my... I really look at this and I feel like Team Liquid is approaching this. Okay, guys, if we don't mess up, this is ours. We just need to play our style. Like, don't mess up, don't make any big mistakes, and just, like, play it down. It's fine. And so they have the boss at the top lane right now. They know that's going to give them value. If they get a curse with that boss, it's even better. They're going to slow play that, wait for an opportunity. Tyranda's going to speed up Sport Billy at some point, and if he gets to engage, they're going for it. They're seeing a Nubarak now here at the bottom together with a Thero, both aiming for Eternal. They can flank in on those. They're going to make that play. But outside of that, they're going to try and make that a bit of a slow approach and wait for an opportunity.
Sport Billy stepping up. Tribute finally gets delayed there. Disintegrate will be used. 25 seconds for that to be back up.
And the boss is getting value at the top lane.
Yep, Team Liquid backs up. Got to break through that wall. Not going to be a keep or anything special, but at least having that open allows for results later on if they get 1 to 2 picks.
Also, if you look at the levels right now and at the tribute count, Liquid can let the next one go and fight over the third one on 20. That's basically what this comes down to. You delay a little bit on the tributes, and then when you have the final curse tribute in play, you will likely have the Storm Towns and your opponent doesn't.
Especially with that second tribute when we're spawning, top right side, favors Team Liquid. Easy way to delay.
Exactly. So either you take it or you delay it, and then no matter how you play it, as long as you have the 20 in mind, if you lose out on that, that's totally cool, because you will fight over the last, the fifth one, so to say. You fight over that with a Storm Talent advantage if you time it properly.
And they won't even need to hawk on this one, too. They can leave him in the bottom. He can be soaking the entire time, pushing with these giants. Method realizing this, heads straight down there, thinking about clearing that up. Maybe he's getting picked, too, if Eternal oversteps.
Yeah, but Eternal should know that something's happening here. All right, already on the move out. Early burrow here. That might actually be a problem for him.
He was trying to dodge out on the
Impale, but that didn't even come, so that was a good kill. Eternal, we highlighted how great he is on the Haka, but in this particular instant he messed up a little bit. Anticipated the Impale. Impale didn't come. Still a curse opportunity.
Sometimes you go for the hard read, and you get a hard death.
Yeah. I mean, it happens. To be fair, if that Impale comes out and he dodges it, it's great, but that was a good heads-up play by Billy too, just holding that, sorry, by Benny too, holding that back and just saying, all right, we have you. No matter what you do, if I hold back my Impale, we're going to get you.
I will say Method in this game, their curse mitigation has been pretty darn solid. Team Liquid decides they have to go for the curse there with them moving one member, and Method showing that they want to push the bottom lane.
I mean, this is the second curse that's not going to get anything.
Yeah. Maybe some experience or maybe a little damage on top. Nah, Maiev even going back there too.
I mean, Method got pretty much slapped around through most of this game, but to be honest, after the curse, all they need is to win a team fight.
They have shown what this composition can do. It can dive forwards if you can find those 5-on-1s. Surprise your opponent.
This team has literally suffered through 3 bosses and 2 curses and is not even half a level behind. That's not too bad. And you are also down 4 kills. So the resilience that we're seeing from Method right now is pretty impressive. That's definitely for sure. So they might lose the fort in the mid lane, and Team Liquid should still be able to get the earlier 20, but the problem is, what are you going to do with the 20? Like, where can you realistically go with a level 20 advantage of half a level to make anything happen here? You want to go for bosses. And the one boss camp spawns in 30 seconds, and the second boss camp spawns in a minute. So
might be able to do that, actually.
You might be able to get that, exactly. So that might be the one opening that you have.
Small timing, but you also, oh gosh, the other thing about that is Hanzo. Scatter arrows flying at you, piercing. If they can hit 2 to 3 there, get a big one on somebody, Method could fight.
Yeah, they also have the stay on while and listen.
Yeah.
If you have a cocoon and you have the disc, you can isolate so many heroes here. I mean, we talk about the weakness of the Nubarak, but that particular setup is actually can be worth it. So, and now, of course, you have to dodge around the bosses. And now look at the experience. It's so close. Is that enough, really, for Team Liquid to get 20? and attack the boss and grab it before Method has their own Storm Talents, because we have now Maiev in the middle and Theron, they're both waiting. Everybody's just waiting. And here's Liquid. They have 20 and immediately the move is being made.
Okay, let's see if it's going to pay off for them here.
Hanzo is at the bot lane grabbing the next wave though.
Yeah. 20 is going to hit. It's going to be like around quarter HP. Dehaka even coming in too. Team Liquid put it all on the line here.
Method is still slow. They're too slow. Malthael is still in the middle.
They also have Hanzo for clear too. Okay, so back up. Malthael was trying to rotate in, but you're right. A little bit too slow. Team Liquid gets out.
Yeah, and that can be... are they going to push? Okay, so they're going to go in with this. They're putting it on line. So for Method, now the idea is get past the boss and attack.
I like how safe Narok is playing here.
Either you lose the keep or you're okay with losing the keep and you just defend on core. That you can do that if you feel keep is fine. If you lose that, it's still okay. Then you go for that. If not, you want to dive behind the boss and go for and take the team fight. But they have Hanzo. They can really just like chunk this down and they're doing a great job. Malthael of course too.
We're really trying to eat some of the shots, but Pierce not going to allow him to do everything there. Nick keeping up with the pressure, and with a full commitment, Team Liquid is hoping to get a keep, and they get it. Back up. Method can't force, and now we have catapult pressure on the field.
I'm actually a little bit surprised that Liquid didn't even go for the double boss play. I wonder if I would have preferred that. They might have not gotten the keep at the bot lane, but they would have taken the second boss away. Either way, one keep down, it's great. Boss is still up on the top, Tribute is given over, but Method is now on 20. So Method still has the opportunity to fight here, but the Liquid is now going to attempt to use the Haka at the bot lane to push through and always get the catapult pressure as heavily pushed in as they possibly can to threaten the core as soon as they can.
What I like about this play of going for the boss and waiting for the tribute to come up is now Team Liquid can posture around the boss on top right and let Dehaka do his thing. They can exploit that global pressure, keep up with the catapults, dance around the boss the entire time, wait for Method to make a play, and try to force him into a mistake. It's all about timing here, slow and steady for Team Liquid.
Bottomless Flask is going to be a game changer for the top here. And yeah, they're already setting that into play. This is difficult for Liquid. This can backfire if you go for it. But Liquid is looking at it already, and they are going to try and force them out. And there goes the attack, though. Billy needs to be careful, so is Benny. Benny gets actually thrown in, but still down. The salvo comes through. Malthael falls. Deckard Kane is down. Yeah, Liquid is just ending it.
Hasselhoffs with the big salvo hitting everybody there on Method. Method going for the play, realizing, okay, we don't have time to sit around and be patient. Let's try and force something here. Big taunt comes in from Sport Billy to lock down Bad Benny, and Team Liquid just cleans up with resets. And now they'll begin to push with Giants and Boss in the top lane, hoping to take out this keep and potentially a core.
Yeah, no matter what you gain here, you will be in a great spot. Either you take out top keep, then you have 2 keeps pushing, or you're even able to push through the core. 30 seconds until Deckard Kane is back. No stale wireless, no nothing. Team fights are not the friend of Method here today, and Liquid is just going for victory. Moving in again, the drag, Eternal again just delivering, and Maiev is down. Though so is the keep, and now we're seeing Liquid trying to go for that quick 3-0, making sure that they are getting the second spot at BlizzCon. That's the qualification right there. 2 seconds for Deckard. Stay on wireless is up. Benny goes in deep again, but the boss already goes through the shield, goes for the core, and Liquid is about to qualify for the biggest event of the year.
Solid macro play from Team Liquid, and you stated already, Caldor. Team Liquid, with their 3rd win over Method, will secure the 2nd slot to BlizzCon, joining Dignitas as one of our representatives for Europe.
Leaves us with 1 spot open. Fnatic in the number 3 position right now will have to play 1 match. Leftovers with a potential 2. We're having number 5 Method and number 6 in the standings. It's going to be Granite Gaming with the Monkeys and roll 20 confirmed for Crucible. So congratulations, Team Liquid, pulling it off very handily. No problems on their end. 3 decisive games.
Yeah.
Biggest problems, air quotes, on Volskaya. But the last team fight just shutting that down. Game 1, Game 3 looking extremely dominant here. Congratulations, Liquid. Goal accomplished.
Clean play for them, and now we just need to make sure they focus on these offline events, be prepared for BlizzCon. So far on offline events, they haven't had the best showing yet, but they still got a month and a half here to prepare for that as we prepare for BlizzCon. And speaking of it, we still have 1 more slot in Europe. Thanks to Dignitas winning the Western Clash, we were awarded an additional slot for European teams. So we will figure that out this weekend.
If we would have only 2?
I know, I can't. I want Honestly, there
I
are
want 4.
There are 4 teams that I want to go to BlizzCon and play against
Yeah.
some of the best in the world right now. We only get 3, and we're lucky to have that. But yes, only having 2, gosh, that would just be...
That would suck.
That would really, really suck. I mean, think about it. If we only had 2 right now, that means Team Liquid. And, well, we would have a playoff system. But again, Team Liquid would have gone, and then Dignitas, and then suddenly we don't have leftovers. We don't have Fnatic. We have some of these teams that are on the up and up and not going to compete. So yeah, I agree with you. That would be so hard to deal with.
Yeah, it feels good to have that third spot.
So thank you, Dig, for that, by the way. So we're getting ready for our interview here. We'll talk to Team Liquid. This will conclude our weekly play that we have here in the HGC. From now on, it's all about the offseason. We still have playoffs available, which will be next week. Our 6th seed will play against the 5th
Crucible
step ladder system. After that, the Crucible. We have 2 teams that will competing to stay in the HGC, which in its essence is competing to have a job. And we have 2 teams from the Open Division who has been working months in the making to make their way on up.
I have no idea who wins in a Crucible, by the way.
I don't either.
I have zero clue. Usually when we're going into those games, you have a favorite pick where you say, like, okay, this is actually what's gonna happen here. And most of the time, it was pretty much there with the expectations. This time I'm going into the Crucible, I have no idea what's gonna happen. Holy Bananas looked good in those games. So did E-Punks and Roll20 and Monkeys are struggling. So Crucible is going to be fantastic. But of course, before that, we have the playoffs, and those look even more stacked.
Well, let's go over to Team Liquid, who has now made a slot to BlizzCon. Congratulations,
Look at that
Nurok,
smile.
and the rest of Team Liquid. Nurok, I don't see you smile very often, but you got a big one on your face. How you feeling, buddy?
This is a smile which represents 1 year of hard work.
Yeah.
Hard work. We built this team to qualify for BlizzCon, and we made it.
I mean,
it was one second. It was shaky. In the end, it was shaky, but I'm so fucking relieved right now. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You can find me. It's okay.
You can find me. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. You deserve it.
You're good.
So let's talk about that, actually. You put this roster together for 2018 to make it a BlizzCon. Offline events were a major goal for you. You were able to go to the Western Clashes. Not quite the result you were looking for, but you still got here to BlizzCon, the big one, the most important one for you. So just tell me about that journey. What was the hardest parts for you? What were the lows? What were the highs? I want to hear about it from you.
So initially, in the beginning of the year, we were performing very, very well. I mean, no, not in the beginning of the year, after roster changes. So